It is Christmas 2017. Mary was cancelled that year. Why? Just the previous week, we had buried my daughter-in-law. She lost her 5-year fight with cancer. 4 weeks before that, my mother died. 5 weeks before that, my ex-husband died. And if all that was not tragic enough, I lost my home of 12 years and I had maxed out 3 credit cards. I was ashamed. Why? Because I wrote the book, How to Make the Rest of Your Life the Best of Your Life. And I certainly was not making this part of my life the best. Is it any wonder I fell deep into the pit of despair? I wept, I had pity parties, but finally I realized no longer could I act positive. I had to do something to change how my life was. I was not happy. In this video, we'll look at the 3 actions that moved me from tragic to ecstatic. My name is Victoria Rose. This is my story. What was it I had to do first? I'll never forget that day. Standing in council offices, I had just spent weeks looking for new accommodation, and I could not find anything that was in my budget or that I even liked. As I stood there, the council receptionist said, "Single women over 60 are the fastest rising demographic in homelessness in Australia." I was shocked. I didn't realise it was that bad, but here I am, one of those sad, tragic demographics, homeless. Council did offer me a flat in a large complex. I knew about that large complex. It was local, and there were many stories about drug dealing and prostitution. The very thought of going there made me feel sick. But I needed to look at where I was in life and what can I do next. I needed a roof over my head. Council said, "You will then have a roof over your head for the rest of your life." It's true, I did want a roof over my head, but I knew from the way I felt that I did not want it to be a roof in that large complex. So I did the best thing. I said no, but thank you. And that brings us to the very first action I took. What was that action? I had to decide what was it I wanted to do. I knew without a shadow of a doubt I had to get out of that pit of despair. There are consequences for every single decision we make on a daily basis. Will I or will I not have that frangipani tart? We need to look at, okay, if I decide this, what will the consequences be? I knew that I no longer wanted to stay in that deep pit of despair. It's a very dark, lonely place. Now, once I decided that I needed to get out of that pit, what did I have to do next? So now we look at action 2. I had to stop playing the blame game. It's easy enough when you find yourself in an uncomfortable, difficult situation to look at what others have done that meant here you are in this uncomfortable situation. And I had to stop playing the blame game. All it did was made me feel miserable, hopeless, unhappy. And so to stop playing the blame game, what I had to do was own. It was my actions, my own actions that created my life. Yes, I may have looked to others to be the knight in shining armor, but I am the one that I've been waiting for. I had to own what I did, what I chose not to do. And as soon as I did that, I felt an incredible power surge through me. If I created it, then I can change it. So action 2 is owning that what you've done or not done has created the uncomfortable situation that I found myself in. So I took back my power. Once I've decided and once I've owned that it was my actions that landed me where I was, what comes next? And this brings me to action 3. How did I want my life to be? Interestingly enough, I've realized that all my life I've been a warrior, not a worrier. Oh, the difference a vow makes. I've felt in my life I've had to fight for what I wanted. What that meant was that I spent time thinking of negative expectations. That's not how I wanted to live my life. So how did I want my life to be? So that is where we come to action 3. And action 3 is to imagine. To imagine positive expectations. And when you do that, you introduce into your life an incredible excitement. So what would happen if I focused solely on positive expectations? Well, I'm about to share that with you in a moment. Now let's look at the 3 steps that I had to take. I had to decide that I needed to move where I was in life. I had to own that I was the one that created the situation I was in. And then I took the time to actually imagine, what do I want from life? Very valuable. 3 actions. How did it work out? Well, I needed to find myself again, to recapture the enthusiasm, the excitement, the positive outlook of my younger days. And how did I go? I backpacked solo through 10 countries over 16 months on a mission to prove it is possible to travel and live overseas on an Australian aged pension. Done and dusted. Did I transform my life? Got rid of 1 credit card, got rid of the 2nd credit card, and here I am, the 3rd credit card, and that is a 0 balance. I am debt-free. It took me 6 years, but I was determined. I made a decision that I will be a lot more financially savvy with the use of my credit card. And I'm excited because it is a fabulous feeling. Whether you are a seasoned solo traveller or you'd like to be one, then watch this video next.